response to the global health situation, we've created this new video series featuring Protera Technologies executives to provide information on what businesses running SAP today are doing to react to what's going on, as well as what they're doing to be proactive as well. Today I'm here with our Chief Product Officer, Manuel, and our President and CTO, Patrick Osterhaus.
Hi, Jamie. Hello, everyone out there. This is Manuel coming to you from San Francisco. We are in the first week of our shelter in place, trying to stay healthy and hope for the best for all of you out there as well. Joined today by Patrick Osterhaus. Patrick, welcome.
Thank you for having me. And again, like Alan just said, hope everyone's safe at home and all the family members are doing okay.
Patrick, you're the president and CTO of Protera. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do and what was the background for you founding the company?
Yeah, it goes back to 1998, starting Protera. We've been a technology firm focused on SAP solutions for our customers this whole time. We have been doing managed services for the last 10 years. And most recently, we've been focusing on providing innovative solutions for our customers, especially providing an easy path forward, moving those SAP solutions into the cloud.
Fantastic. Now, of course, I can't help but notice you have a drum set there, and I don't know if this is coming in on the video, but you've got a guitar hanging on the wall. You're a tech executive. How is the current COVID-19 situation affecting you in your professional workplace today? What does it really mean for you on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, it's sort of ironic to me because we've been focusing on enabling our workforces for our customers to be remotely accessible, access their systems from anywhere in the world. And, there's a fair amount of work from home for all customers, all companies, that they have a fair percentage. Yet, I think the impact of taking that full workforce for all these companies all at once and making that transition has been a big jump for everyone, especially myself. For years, I would work 1 or 2 days remotely. It's been quite a long time, though. And for about the last, about 10 years, working, when I'm not traveling, out of our Chicago office. So the transition, even on Monday, this is Wednesday, 2 to 3 days in, it's been quite a big shift, just to get used to this working from home, everything's remote, not seeing people face to face is a little abrupt, a little change, but
it's a big change, yeah.
Yes.
Now, later on in the additional episodes of the series, we'll talk with another one of our execs about specifically how our customers are reacting and some of the things that we are putting in place to help them during this time. But I want to talk about something a little different. Your background is really about bringing innovation to companies that are running SAP today. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that? And since you're in your home there, how that philosophy of innovation is just a part of your daily life.
Yeah, I've always liked technology. I have a computer science degree from the University of Iowa, where I grew up. Last, 20 years, been focusing on innovating continuously in Protera. I like, looking at how technology can make our lives better. And Protera certainly provides that to our customers. We're always looking at how we can better improve a solution for them and make, their systems run better. So it's sort of like the way you look at the world. It imbues not only just how you do things professionally, but also personally. So, I'm always interested in how technology can improve every aspect. So I can show a little bit about, the technology in our house. It started back in, I would say, almost a decade ago when the Nest thermostat came out. It was one of those big examples enabling a smart home. I thought it was just an incredible piece of technology that they simplified the use and to get value for any user. Previous to that, they had these programmable thermostats, which jokingly they were like the VCRs of the 80s, where it was flashing 1200, for noon. Never got switched because it was too hard to reprogram and change the clock. The Nest changed that, where instead of having to read this manual, you just turn on your smartphone and you paired it to this device, and suddenly it could control your temperature of your house from anywhere in the world. So it was, and extending that, when I first looked at it, I was really interested about the cost savings. And I think that's like almost any technology. People want to understand how it's going to make their life better immediately. And
Sure.
I think they hyper focused on the cost of it. We saw the same thing with cloud for SAP and the usage. Yet back on the analogy with the Nest is that it was this very simple technology, very easy to consume and use and deploy, and that just got my thinking about where's the next piece. So
yeah. Now, a lot of these technologies in the home, we're taking advantage of them right now. We're doing teleconferencing. People have their kids at home. They're doing the online classroom. So especially now during this time, a lot of these cloud-based technologies are really showing how they can make our lives easier. But when it comes to SAP, I think people have the impression SAP is a little bit different animal. It's an application that was born well before the advent of cloud. Cloud has come along, made a big change in our lives, as you've mentioned. Can you really get the innovations of the cloud? Can you really get some of the agility and some of the improvements in productivity that we're talking about when it comes to SAP? And what are some examples of how companies could do that? If I'm running my SAP today and I want to move it to the cloud, what would I get out of it?
Short answer is yes. There's many examples of how we can take advantage of that. Simplest way I can describe this, as an example, is customer has hardware ordered today. If you're waiting on this delivery, if there's a way to cancel it, you can deploy that same system instead of on physical hardware. You can deploy that in the cloud in minutes. So that's a perfect example where you might today, if you're an infrastructure manager, you might be stressing out that you got to get this hardware somehow into your data center. You have to have your resources deploy it. And right now with the travel bans, that's pretty hard to do. So now with cloud, you can deploy the solution and get it installed in minutes and install your SAP application or something else virtually in minutes. And this extends, for other team members are going to talk about other scenarios with networking, enhancing that. Where you can start is I would go back to when we first started working with cloud back in the early 2010s. This is 2011. We actually helped with certification from SAP. One of our first use cases was DR, which forefront of our mind today is getting people to work remotely for all customers, I should say, for all companies. How do we enable this workforce from anywhere to be able to access their systems and stay productive? Equally to that is, how do you stay protected? How do you have a secure environment and make sure that system's up all the time? It's a perfect use case for cloud. So
right. So I think especially right now, the ability to react in an agile manner and meet changing user needs while keeping those critical supply chains up and running. I think the advantages that you point out of moving to cloud apply today more than ever. With that in mind, Patrick, why isn't everyone doing it? Why aren't we seeing? I know we're involved with a lot of customers who are making that transition, but why isn't it more kind of widespread to this point? What's holding people back?
Yeah, it's we're in the age of information. We're also in the age of too much information, and I think there's a lot of noise, too much noise and not enough signal, and so it's confusing for people to know where to start and what to who to partner with, who to trust, who to get the information from, and what tools can be used. So I think that's it's a matter of knowing what to focus upon and what's the correct path, what's the best way forward. I think that's a big
you mentioned
big factor.
We have a tool, Protera FlexBridge. I don't know if those of you in the audience are familiar with that. Why don't you just tell us in a minute or two what Protera FlexBridge is and how that could be useful for someone who's considering making that transformation of their SAP to the cloud?
Yeah, so the big focus, when I say big, it's a large, very wide focus of the product, is to cover the whole life cycle of SAP solutions in the cloud. So it includes the assessment, the looking at discovery, looking at what the customer has running today in their environment, and it can include if they're already in cloud. They're going to do some transformation, but any source, reviewing that, looking at remediation items for a myriad of paths forward. So this can be as simple as not making any changes in the system and moving directly into the cloud, or it can be going to S/4HANA and do a transformation on the application, even the operating system and database, as well as replatforming. So that's the next piece of the assessment. From there, we can actually give the path forward, actually help manage those steps, of which some of those are automated within the tool, and then actually do the transformation and the provisioning of these systems in the cloud. And then lastly, actually running it, actually doing the ops piece through the software. So we've tried to create a very clear, understandable path and have the software basically be your assistant, your guide through these very complicated processes.
Okay. All right. And for those of you out in the audience who've not heard of the Protera FlexBridge platform, Patrick, the way that you described it sounds very powerful. It sounds like a great way to help a company understand their transformation options and maybe launch that project. Is it complex? I mean, you talk about quite a bit of capability there. A lot of the customers have a lot of things on their mind right now. Is it hard to take advantage of the Protera FlexBridge platform in the process? Is this something that a company who's reacting to many different things right now can take advantage of today? I mean, obviously there are good reasons to do it, but is it practical? Is it something that can be done virtually? Does it require a lot of preparation? Tell us a little bit more about what it takes to, on the customer side, to be able to take advantage of this platform.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time trying to keep it very simple and have a very easy path to use the software. So the software is available over the internet. Obviously, it's secured. We put best practices in place for the build and protecting customer data. Yet it is very easy to access and upload data and connect it to customer systems.
And I assume you have experts that can help, technical experts that can help the customer through this process.
We absolutely do. Yeah, and it's nice because we're building software basically for what we do ourselves. So we are experts in the transformation methods, and so we basically consulted ourselves to build a tool that helps us at the end. And we thought this is a thing that we could share and provide to our customers and our partners to simplify the path for them also.
Okay. Now, how much preparation, if I'm a customer in the audience thinking, you know what, now I understand how important it is to have my SAP running on an agile, adaptable platform. I'm interested in what my options are. Perhaps the Protera FlexBridge platform can help me. Specifically, what kinds of information would I need to have ready as a customer? Do I need to go and do a intensive inventory of my technical landscape and know every single piece of software and every version number? Or can I start with maybe less information and kind of get a rough estimate and then refine it over time? What specifically do I need to know in order for me to take advantage of the Protera FlexBridge platform?
Yeah, again, back on simplicity, we can start with some very basic information, including what application is running, if it's HANA based or not. So what's the database, how many users that system has, how many people are using it, and lastly, how big the database is. Those are good gauges of complexity, and just from those four metrics, we can provide, I'd say, a solution that's close to 80% in accuracy.
Okay.
For cost, for timeline, for looking at areas that have to be remediated. Now, obviously, to get more accurate, for all those artifacts, for all those deliverables, we can certainly apply other assessment, and this includes a program that we've built that can run on the SAP systems. We also can provide a way to assess non-SAP systems, as well as digest or consume information the customer has already, like early watch reports from SAP to do the assessment. So, and lastly, they can manually enter the data. So if you have an Excel spreadsheet somewhere that has all your full infrastructure, all detailed, we certainly can consume that, or we can just have it manually entered, and we have that means also in the software. So we try to get many answers, and whatever the customer is best, what method is best for the customer, we provide that.
That's fantastic. So just those four pieces of information, if I got it correctly, it was what applications am I running if I'm out there in the audience. I think the second was am I running HANA or not. The third was number of users, and the fourth was database size. So with just those four pieces of information, even if I don't have the exact counts, but I guess if I'm close, I could take advantage of your software. Is that how to think about it?
That's a perfect way. Yes.
That's great. That's great. Sounds fantastic, Patrick. Have you done this before? I mean, is this something that you put together very quickly for a response for the COVID situation that we're in right now, or is this something that Protera has been doing for a while?
Yeah, it's been incubating, I'd say, for 20 years for us, looking at systems. And back 15 years ago, 10 years ago, we would go on the customer site and do the assessment, but that's been put in the software. So we've been doing this for over 20 years. In the software itself, it's been for 5, and we've done hundreds of assessments for multinational companies around the world. So we have a process that is pretty well hardened and pretty well proven now.
Great, great. Well, fantastic. Thank you, Patrick, for taking some time today. I know that the companies out in the audience there have a lot on their minds, but ensuring that their SAP is ready to react in situations like this, or really any critical situation where the business needs are going to change unexpectedly. I know that's really central to people's minds. I know also it might be hard to get face-to-face meetings, so the ability to maybe interact with this Protera platform virtually is something that customers could take advantage of. So thank you for sharing that. Before I turn it over to Jamie for kind of the next steps, I do have to ask you, I'm looking over your shoulder. I see a big white box. I think there's another one right next to it that says Tesla on it. Before we go, really as the guiding light and innovation head for the company and for yourself, you have to tell me what are those boxes doing behind you? What kind of innovation do you have there?
Yeah, happy to share that. As always trying to look at ways we can improve. Certainly we do that in Protera and do that in my personal life also. Back to that analogy of the smart home and making things better, how we can improve our lives. Sustainable energy is a very big topic now. It's important to all of us that we find out better ways that we can keep our modern way of life sustainable. And so recently, last year, I put in a solar system. Around the end of last year, I put in the batteries that you see behind me. The cool thing about it is yesterday it was a beautiful day in Chicago, very nice sunny day. And the batteries are storing all the energy produced yesterday, and that's what's powering the home today, which is a cloudy day here. So it's a great future. We're gonna be able to all take part in, and excited to try this out as a early adopter. Essentially, get a lot of questions on how it's working, and it's great. It's great. We have a lot of things to look forward to. A lot of great innovation by a lot of smart people, and we want to foster that for many reasons.
So using technology to keep things running in a stronger, better, faster way. Fantastic, Patrick. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Jamie. Over to you.
Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your thoughts today. And for everyone watching, we will have our next video featuring our head of delivery, talking about real examples of our customers, their CIOs, and what they're doing in reaction to these times, and also what they've done to be proactive. So please stay tuned, and everyone stay well. Thank you.